We've chatted in length to David Mott at Network 10 about the 2011 season. In a moment, we'll chat to WIN Network Programming Manager Danny Mitrovic, who looks after regional affiliate stations of Channel 9 right across Australia, plus Channel 9 in Perth and Adelaide, which is owned by WIN. He'll be chatting to us about the 2011 season, but I must preface uh, by saying that WIN take most of Nine's primetime schedule, so it is difficult to ask any questions about the reasoning behind certain schedule changes, why something has been dropped, or why Go makes obsessive last-minute changes on a weekly basis. Now, these decisions are made by Nine Entertainment Company, which owns Nine in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane, something that Danny, in most cases, will need to follow. Danny, thanks very much for joining us.
Hi, Aaron. It's good to be here.
Thank you very much. Well, in terms of that statement that I just made, can it be difficult for a programmer when some major primetime shows that work in the eastern states don't work, say, in Adelaide and Perth, or vice versa? A show has been pulled by Nine in the eastern states but has been working in Adelaide and Perth, or does that not happen very often?
Look, it doesn't happen very often. Sometimes you might have a show that's performing well in Perth and not doing well on the east coast. And Nine will change it, and then we just have to deal with that. Obviously, you get your programs from the US, and there's all contract rights on these things, and you've got to run them. You've got one run or two runs on them. You just got to kind of go with the flow and make sure that whatever they replace it, you make it work. But generally, if something's not working, it's not working anywhere. They won't just pull it off for that reason. But yeah, that's basically how it works.
No worries. Well, before we go into the 2011 season, let's quickly chat about the cricket. Fantastic results after a couple of mediocre seasons. A real, I guess, bounce back in 2011. What do you attribute the turnaround to?
Oh, look, it's the cricket's had a great build-up. I mean, it's the Ashes. They don't come up so often. We had some really good cricket, some close matches. And it's summertime, and a young team, a lot of new faces. It was promoted well. There's a big hype behind the cricket, and that I think that was a success of it. And we had some really good 2020 games in the beginning of the season and throughout the season, and I just held the viewer interest.
The second last match came down to 4 balls. It was very, very close. Well, the 2011 ratings here. Let's have a look at night by night. Monday nights you've got 2.5 Men and how do we pronounce this? Bleep, my dad says, or shit, my dad says.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Well, I've been calling it shit. My dad says in my schedule for myself. But look, it's basically beat my dad says is what the title is.
Yes, or written percentage mark and an exclamation mark. I don't know what. Both performing strongly with the William Shatner comedy holding on to a lot of its lead-in last week. Obviously, the network is using 2.5 Men and The Big Bang Theory on different nights to help launch some new comedies. Is that the case?
Well, look, what it is. 2.5 Men is a very steady comedy. So wherever you place 2.5 Men, you're going to have a good audience. And you want to have your maximum audience watching a brand new show. That's what we want. We want this thing to work. Same as Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory, it started off, and it's one of those programs where it gets a lot of word by mouth, and people talk about the show, and it builds up its following that way. And that's one of our top rating comedies, Big Bang Theory, at the moment. It's rating really well, the same as 2.5 Men. And running Beat My Dad Says after 2.5 Men, I think it's a good comedy double. I think having William Shatner there and what's his name, Charlie Sheen, I think it's a great comedy double. Wednesday nights with what's it called, Mike and Molly. Yeah. That'll do really well on Wednesday nights with Big Bang Theory together. But yeah, that's the key to it, is to put two stable shows and run them with a brand new show after it, and it gives the viewer a good lead in.
For sure. At the time of this podcast, we're a few hours away from screening the first Underbelly film, so it's very hard to discuss it and its ratings when listeners will be hearing this on Tuesday. So tell us more about the second telemovie, Infiltration.
Infiltration. That's about a Victorian detective who goes undercover with the Australian branch, or one part of the Australian branch of some mafia, and he spends his 18 months of his life undercover with this group. It's a bit like he's like the Australian Donnie Brasco, you could almost say. But it looks like a really good episode, that one.
All right, lovely. Tuesday nights, you've got all new Top Gear. This one is Fast Track from the UK. How many
Hmm.
episodes have you got for this one, and what can you tell us about the new season and what's happening with the Stig now?
Yeah, well, with the new season, there's about 6 episodes in the new season. They only make short season runs of these of Top Gear. And this episode on tomorrow night is a great episode. It's also shot in Iraq, and some of the things they do are just incredible. Look, I've seen the episode for myself, and it's just incredible. It's just shot well, and these guys really put their lives in the line, so to speak. From what I know with the Stig, he's been replaced by two racing car drivers,
Yep.
Alistair McRae and Chris Atkinson, I think the names are. And but yeah, he's been replaced, and they'll keep the Stig in that series. From what I know, from what I've seen.
Excellent. And but before that, The Big Bang Theory airs at 9:30 p.m. Ben Alton live from Planet Earth. Tell us exactly what this show is, because it's from what I've read, it's sort of hard to define what it is. Is it a light entertainment, a sketch comedy, or a chat show? It's hard to work out.
Yeah. Well, Ben Elton, I mean, he's a funny guy, and look, I've got high hopes for this show. It's going to be funny. It's basically Ben Elton doing his own gig. I mean, he's a what do you call it? He'll deliver his stand-up routines in the show. He'll have guests on the show. He'll have regular sketch performers. It's basically a talk show, chat show, but I think it'll be edgy, and he'll have international stars there and music comedy acts on there as well too. Um, Probably something like I don't know. I'm thinking it's going to be something like Rove meets Fast Forward, something like that.
Mm. Hopefully, you'll get a sample that's got screening after Pack to the Rafters, which is on 7, but NC Ice is still running on 10, so it's got a bit up against it, but hopefully it will do well.
Yeah, look, I'm happy he'll do well. Bill Nelson's got a bit of a following, and look, it's you got to cater for the audience, and give an audience something else to watch, and I think it should do good.
All right, Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares, all new season follows that at 10:30. Wednesday nights we spoke about Big Bang Theory and then Mike and Molly.
Hmm.
It's tracked well in the US after Two and a Half Men. Is there anything more you can actually tell us about what the series is about, Mike and Molly?
Yeah, look, Mike and Molly, it is doing really good in the US, and it's getting some good numbers out there. It's basically about two people who meet at an Overeaters Anonymous meeting, and then they fall in love. They start courting each other, fall in love, and then they're dealing with their families and everyday life. And it's a really funny show. It's made by the guys from Two and a Half Men, Chuck Lorre, the creator of Two and a Half Men. And look, I've seen about 8 episodes of the show, and it just gets funnier. It just builds up, and the jokes are there. They're really fast, and I think it'll do really well. It'll do really well at the back end of Big Bang Theory, and especially leading into Farmer Wants a Wife at 8:30.
Yes, that's still going. That's 8:30, so it's still going strong for you after quite a few
Y-
seasons now.
Yeah, look, Farmer's doing really well. I mean, especially across our regional markets. The numbers are really up, and it performs really good. It's got a good following. It just constantly delivers the ratings. It performs well in Adelaide and Perth as well. Surprisingly, it does really well in those metro markets. Obviously, there are a lot of farmers from those areas too. There's some really good stories. It's a feel-good, honest reality show, the way I see it. They're just fair dinkum blokes, and girls, obviously, and it's just one of those shows you can sit back and it's easy watching, and it's shot well, it's done well, and it's been really popular.
Hmm. Thursday nights, RPA is coming back with a Where Are They Now 6-part series.
Hmm.
That's at 9:30 p.m. Wednesday nights, and Embarrassing Bodies at 10:30. Thursday nights, you've got a half hour of RBT and a half hour of Getaway. Are you aware of why there was a change to the Getaway format to 30 minutes, and is this temporary or permanent?
Oh, look, I think the Nine just trialing out the half-hour format. Uh, look, Getaway is a very popular show across the Nine and Win, and I'm hoping it will go back to an hour. But yeah, look, it's just half an hour for the moment. But hopefully somewhere down the track it'll go back to an hour format.
No worries. Friday night's a bit quiet at the moment, but we got the NRL coming back soon. Now, this is
Hmm.
a question I've been asked by a lot of people. Are you aware if the Nine Network will be utilising Gem to show NRL games at a more reasonable time in Melbourne, Adelaide, and Perth?
Yeah, look, this is something that I get asked a lot as well too. This is still being discussed with us and Nine, and I'm still talking to the guy to the programmers up there about what the plans are for the NRL, because we do get a lot of viewers outside of in Western Australia who want to see the NRL at a reasonable time. But it's something that we're talking about to Nine about, and hopefully we'll have an answer on that one soon.
So that's a watch this space for that one.
I would say watch this space, yeah.
Lovely. As Sundays, you've got Customs at 6:30, sending the Dogs Australia, 60 minutes to Mental CSI Miami. So obviously just going with a winning formula on Sunday nights, not changing too much there.
Yeah, look, it's basically it's a strong lineup. Customs does really well for us. Sending the Dogs has been a bit of a surprise hit, and the Australian version will be really good. I believe it's been shot in Sydney Airport and Melbourne Airport. 60 Minutes comes back. 60 Minutes is one of those steady performers that's been delivering the numbers for us. And there's some really good stories coming up on that one. All new Mentalist and all new CSI Miami, they do really well. CSI Miami is probably one of the most successful CSI franchises that we have performing. It does really, really well for us. But yeah, look, it's a good Sunday night.
Yeah, and just for viewers out there, just while we're talking about the mentals, because I know I'll get a bit of mail about that. Brisbane will be one episode in front of the rest of the network because they did show a new episode after the Mentalist. So if people are checking the guides and see a different episode being screened, that was the reason for that. Just if I throw four shows out to you, that shows that are coming up for 2011.
Yep.
Any information or any word that you got on these titles? First up, AFP.
AFP, that's the new reality show following law enforcement agencies all around Australia and overseas.
Yep.
I believe that'll be in the second half of the year. The promo looks fantastic, and it's got everyone excited. And whenever we show the promo in our screenings, there's a lot of buzz around that one. It just looks great. It's just seeing border security, and it's very similar to that sort of style of programming. But that'll be great. I'm looking forward to that one.
We spoke about Underbelly before. They got 3 telemovies coming up, and some people thought that was it, but there is actually a series coming up later in the year titled Razor, I believe. Any more info on that?
Yeah, look, Underbelly Razor, that'll be a 13-part Underbelly series, and it's based in Sydney in the 1920s. Where it's based on 2 tough women who ran the underworld in Sydney, and they were bitter rivals. And yeah, look, it looks really good. The promo looks really good on that. It looks fantastic, and that should be in the second half of the year.
Yeah, and if it's set in the 1920s, I'm pretty sure that you'll probably escape any legal problems with that one airing in any state, I would think.
We hope so.
Yeah, and that promo for Underbelly Razor is up on the site, TV Central, if you want to have a look at that. The third program, Come Fly With Me, I mentioned that one because it's had a little bit of controversy over in the UK, or the US?
The UK, that's
UK.
The makers from
Little Britain. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I've seen a few episodes of that, and it's it's very, very funny in the Little Britain way, I suppose, in what they do. It's basically it takes on the reality shows like Airport and Airline, and you got those 2 characters, those 2 comedy stars who basically play about 20-year-olds each in this program, and they just one's a pilot, one's a customs officer, and it's really, really funny.
Yeah. The other one, more comedy, Ed Cavalier and Tony Martin, The Joy of Sets, coming up.
Oh yeah, The Joy of Sets. That should be hitting our screens sometime after Easter, I think. That's basically a take on television.
Excellent. So what Australian drama do you have coming up in 2011?
Obviously Underbelly. We have Sea Patrol is coming up this year.
Yep.
We'll have Panic at Rock Island, which is a 2-hour telemovie. I think something like 24 Days Later meets Virus, about a bunch of people at a concert, and the virus gets spread. We also have The Games London Calling. That's Gina Riley and John Clark. Yeah, that's right. Doing a take on the Games. This is the lead up to the 2012 Olympic Games, obviously.
Yep.
That's pretty much the drama we have there coming up this year, and I'm sure there'll be some more things coming up, or will start coming up.
And I believe Rescue Special Ops is back, but they're dropping the Special Ops in the title. Is that?
Yeah, it'll just well, it's coming in as you've probably seen the promos on there saying Rescue.
Yep.
And that'll be in the schedule shortly. We've had that.
Another question that you probably been asked a few times about Survivor. It's almost ready to air in America. Will we see it fast track down under?
Look, I hope so. I'll find out more from 9. This is another watch this space. Look, I like the show. I'm a fan of the show, and Survivor's always been in our schedule. And I'm hoping we'll get it into the schedule somewhere very, very shortly.
Excellent. Another new show coming up this year, Top Design, Jamie Jury. Have you got any info on that?
Look, it's another makeover show. It's people, ordinary Australians involved in renovation challenges. And look, Jamie Jury, it's good to have him back on 9. He's a very popular personality, and he comes across really good. So look, this will be really good. I'm looking forward to this one. Australians have a real passion for renovation shows, and I think this will do really well. I'm really good. I'm happy with this one.
Okay, next question. I know you probably can't give me any extra information, but I have to ask it. Is there any other news other than what's been reported on the future of Hey Hey It's Saturday?
Look, I don't have any news on Hey Hey at the moment. I believe Nine's talking to Daryl, but at this stage, look, I don't have any news on that one. No.
All right. Any other Australian or international titles we can expect on 9 and Win in 2011? Yeah,
look, we've got some great new shows still coming up. We've got from David E. Kelly, we've got Harry's Law, which stars Kathy Bates, and that's a fantastic show. It's very, very good.
They held up well in America too. The first episode debuted very well, but then the second episode held almost all of its audience. So that's interesting.
Yeah, look, it's doing really good. I've seen the first 2 episodes, and look, it's a great little show. It's funny, and Kathy Bates, she's just fantastic in the show. She's really good. Yeah. We also have Matthew Perry. Sorry, we've got Matthew Perry in Mr. Sunshine.
Yes.
It also stars Alison Janney from The West Wing, and look, that's hilarious. It's another funny show. And then we've got Matt LeBlanc in Episodes. Then that's coming out shortly as well too.
There we go. So a few international titles there. On the local front, what can viewers expect from Win-produced series in 2011?
On the Win side of things, look, Alive and Cooking's been doing really well for us, and we're working on new episodes now for this year. We'll be going to more different locations. It'll be outdoors a lot, so we're going to get James out of the kitchen and get him out in the Australian landscape and send him around the place. We've also got Fishing Australia, which has been doing really, really well for us. That's Rob Paxavanis has been doing really good, travelling the country and shooting all the fishing episodes. And we've also got Postcards Australia, which will be getting out this year as well too. Postcards has been a really good franchise both in Adelaide and in Perth. It's doing well out there. We'll have new episodes out there very shortly in Perth. And yeah.
The first program you mentioned there, Live and Cooking, you sort of experimented with a few time slots there, obviously trying to slot it into the 9 Network's schedule where to put it in. You originally had it in at 3 o'clock instead of Entertainment Tonight, but now you've decided to do the just break up the 1 hour news bulletin to half an hour in Perth and Adelaide. There's been a lot of news though lately, and then Live and Cooking's had to be chopped because you've decided to run the
Yeah.
full hour bulletin. I mean, is that something that you're looking at? I mean, there's a lot of appetite for news. Are you going to keep it there at 11:30?
Yeah, look, at the moment it'll stay at 11:30, 11:30. Look, news is important, and with all the disasters happening of late, we've had to drop Allow and Cooking, which it makes sense. You want to make sure we serve our viewers the right programming, and Allow and Cooking just performed a lot better at 11:30, and then sort of 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock was a very dead spot for it, and a lot of viewers did complain that they kept missing it at 3. And I think having it, in mid-morning worked a lot better for us. But it's something we're watching very closely, and yeah, we're keeping our eyes on that one, and we'll see what happens with the future of its time slot.
I've noticed that the Nine Entertainment Company did pick up that series because they're screening it on Gem in the morning too.
Yep.
So the whole of Australia is actually seeing that Win produced series.
That's right. That's correct. Yes, it's on Gem.
And just a final question, just with Gem and Go, how have they been tracking for you, and what titles can we expect coming up? Anything you want to tease about any of those programs on Gem and Go?
Yeah, look, Go's been fantastic. Go's been working really well for us across the country, and so has Gem. Gem's picked up really well too. Look, on Go this year, obviously we got the new Vampire Diaries in the schedule. We'll have Spartacus, Gods of the Arena, which is season 2 of Spartacus. We've got Nikita, season 2 of V started. Season 2 of Community. There's Fringe in there, and a new series called Justified, which will be out there shortly. So Go's got some really good shows in there, and coming up as well too. Gem will have all new Weeds coming for the schedule. The Big C has been doing well.
Oh, yep.
We will have all new Hotel Babylon coming in there. Southland and Dark Blue, that'll be all new. And yeah, look, and a lot of movies as well too.
Lovely. Well, I think that pretty much covers everything from Nine and Win. Danny, appreciate your time and thanks for joining me at TV Central.
No, you're welcome.
Danny Mitrovic, network programmer at Win. Pretty big job when you realise he looks after Adelaide and Perth, 9, plus all of the regional Win affiliates, including Win WA, which incorporates programming from 9 and also 10. Well, that's it for this podcast. Tim Warner from 7 will be joining us for the next one. I'm Aaron Ryan for TV Central. See you then.